Genesis chapter 50. Joseph threw himself on his father and wept over him and kissed him. Then Joseph told the physician who served him to embalm his father's body, so Jacob was embalmed. The embalming process took the Europe 40 days, and the Egyptian mourned his death for 70 days. When the period of mourning was over, Joseph approached Pharaoh's advisors and said, "Please do me this favor and speak to Pharaoh on my behalf. Tell him that my father made me swear an oath. He said to me, 'Listen, I'm about to die. Take my body back to the land of Canaan and bury me in the tomb I prepared for myself. So please allow me to go and bury my father. After his burial, I will return without delay.' Pharaoh agreed to Joseph's request. 'Go and bury your father as he made you promise,' he said. So Joseph went up to bury his father. He was accompanied by all of Pharaoh's officials, all the senior members of Pharaoh's household, and all the senior officer of Egypt. Joseph also took his entire household and his brothers and their household, but they left their little children and flocks and herd in the land of Goshen. A great number of chariot and charioteers accompanied Joseph. When they arrived at the threshing floor of Atad, near the Jordan River, they held a very great and solemn memorial service with a 7-day period of mourning for Joseph's father. The local residents, the Canaanites, watched them mourning at the threshing floor at Atad. Then they renamed that place, which is near the Jordan, Abel Mizraim. For they said, 'This is a place of deep mourning for this Egyptian.' So Jacob's son did as he had commanded them. They carried his body to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field of Machpelah, near Mamre. This is the cave that Abraham had bought as a permanent burial site from Ephron the Hittites. Joseph reassured his brother. After burying Jacob, Joseph returned to Egypt with his brother and all who had accompanied him to his father's burial. But now that his father was dead, Joseph's brother became fearful. Now Joseph will show his anger and pay us back for all the wrong we did to him, they said. So they sent this message to Joseph. 'Before your father died, he instructed us to say to you, please forgive your brothers for the great wrong they did to you, for their sin in treating you so cruelly. So we, the servant of the God of your father, beg you to forgive our sin.' When Joseph received the message, he broke down and wept. Then his brother came and threw themselves down before Joseph. 'Look, we are your slaves,' they said. But Joseph replied, 'Don't be afraid of me. Am I God that I can punish you? You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the life of many people. No, don't be afraid. I will continue to take care of you and your children.' So he reassured them by speaking kindly to them. The death of Joseph. So Joseph and his brother and their family continued to live in Egypt. Joseph lived to the age of 110. He lived to see 3 generations of descendants of his son Ephraim, and he lived to see the birth of the children of Manasseh's son Machir, whom he claimed as his own. 'Soon I will die,' Joseph told his brothers, 'but God will surely come to help me and lead you out of this land of Egypt. He will bring you back to the land he solemnly promised to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob.' Then Joseph made the son of Israel swear an oath, and he said, 'When God comes to help you and lead you back, you must take your bone with you. Take my bone with you.' So Joseph died at the age of 110. The Egyptian embalmed him, and his body was placed in a coffin in Egypt. Exodus chapter 1. The Israelites in Egypt. The name of the son of Israel, that is Jacob, who moved to Egypt with their father, each of his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. In all, Jacob had 70 descendants in Egypt, including Joseph, who was already there. In time, Joseph and all his brothers died, ending that entire generation. But their descendants, the Israelites, had many children and grandchildren. In fact, they multiplied so greatly that they became extremely powerful and filled the land. Eventually, a new king came to power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph or what he had done. He said to his people, "Look, the people of Israel now outnumber us and are stronger than we are. We must make a plan to keep them from growing even more. If we don't, and if war breaks out, they will join our enemy and fight against us. Then they will escape from the country." So the Egyptians made the Israelites their slaves. They appointed brutal slave drivers over them, hoping to wear them down with crushing labor. They forced them to build the city of Phism and Ramses as supply center for the king. But the more the Egyptian oppressed them, the more the Israelites multiplied and spread, and the more alarmed the Egyptian became. So the Egyptian worked the people of Israel without mercy. They made their lives bitter, forcing them to mix mortar and make bricks and do all the work in the field. They were ruthless in all their demands. Then Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, gave this order to the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah: "When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If the baby is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live." But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's orders. They allowed the boys to live too. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives. "Why have you done this?" he demanded. "Why have you allowed the boy to live?" The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, the midwife replied. "They are moved vigorous and have their baby so quickly that we cannot get there in time." So God was good to the midwives, and the Israelites continued to multiply, growing more and more powerful. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them family of their own. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all the people: "Throw every newborn Hebrew boy into the Nile River, but you may let the girls live." The birth of Moses. About this time, a man and a woman from the tribe of Levi got married. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was a special baby and kept him hidden from 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, he got a basket made of papyrus reed and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. She put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. The baby's sister then stood at a distance, watching to see what would happen to him. Soon Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, and his attendants walked along the river bank. When the princess saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her maid to get it for her. When the princess opened it, she saw the baby. The little boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This must be one of the Hebrew children," she said. Then the baby's sister approached the princess. "Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" she asked. "Yes, do," the princess replied. So the girl went and called the baby's mother. "Take this baby and nurse him for me," the princess told the baby's mother. "I will pay you for your help." So the woman took her baby home and nursed him. Later, when the baby was older, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. The princess named him Moses, for she explained, I lifted him out of the water. Moses escaped to Midian. Many years later, when Moses had grown up, he went out to visit his own people, the Hebrews, and he saw how hard they were forced to work. During his visit, he saw the Egyptian beating one of his fellow Hebrews. After looking in all directions to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid the body in the sand. The next day, when Moses went out to visit his people again, he saw two Hebrew men fighting. Why are you beating up your friends? Moses said to the one who had started the fight. The men replied, Who appointed you to be our prince and judge? Are you going to kill me as you killed that Egyptian yesterday? Then Moses was afraid, thinking, Everyone knows what I did. And sure enough, Pharaoh here heard what had happened, and he tried to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in the land of Midian. When Moses arrived in Midian, he sat down beside a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters who came as usual to draw water and fill the water through troughs for their father's flock. But some other shepherd came and chased them away. So Moses jumped up and rescued the girls from the shepherds. Then he drew water for their flocks. When the girls returned to rule their father, he asked, Why are you back so soon today? An Egyptian rescued us from the serpent. They answered. And then he drew water for us and watered our flocks. Then where is he? Their father asked, Why did you leave him there? Invite him to come and eat with us. Moses accepted the invitation, and he settled there with him. In time, Reuel gave Moses his daughter Zipporah to be his wife. Later, she gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom. For he explained, I've been a foreigner in a foreign land. Years passed, the kings of Egypt died, but the Israelites continued to grow under the burden of slavery. They cried out for help, and the cry rose up to God. God heard their growing, and he remembered his confident promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He looked down on the people of Israel and knew it was time to act. So this is chapter 2 of Exodus. So those 3 chapters is end of about Jacob's bury Jacob by Joseph, and also quickly going many years later, and Joseph died about 110 years old, and then all that generation died, which is Joseph and his brothers. And then many years later, now the king of Egypt know nothing about Joseph. Now they are very feared of Israel people, because Israel people is grow very fast. Many generations later, they might got millions or 500,000. So then Moses came out. That is a new story. And by the way, the first 5 chapter basically is written by Moses. Alright, so that is the story started from Moses. Now Moses already get married. He flee away from Pharaoh. And then he married Zipporah. So, and also he got his first son, Gershom. Alright, so that is today's Bible learning. Hope everybody like it. God bless everyone. Let's see you tomorrow.